Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Design Thinking approach to community building. And I know it's 5 p.m. and you do not want to do any kind of work. But believe me, it's not any work, really. We'll just give one more minute. All right, let's settle down. Do we have a pen and paper with us today? Maybe more than one paper. Of course. All right, let's get started. Thanks so much for staying back and joining us for this small workshop. My name is Sakshi, and why am I speaking on stage today? I am the GDG Silicon Valley organizer, and fortunately, I was able to build bigger events. My last one was with 850 folks showing up in this exact venue, and there were like 4 tracks, 40 speakers, and it was a big event. And therefore, I feel like a lot of people keep asking me, why do I do big events? How do I do big events? What's the reasoning behind that? And how do they kind of design a big event themselves? And it's really not about bigger events as much as it is about impactful events. So we would be taking this design thinking approach today to be able to build community, which unfortunately equals to events. But we will briefly talk about what community can be more than events as well. So let's get started. My name is Sakshi. I am the GDG Silicon Valley organizer. I'm also a founder of this company called Developers Inc., which sounds very much like Monsters Inc., if you've seen the movie. Yeah. I mean, same, right? All right. So by the show of hands, can I see how many in this room think that they are creative? All right. Okay. That's a lot of you. Great. So you have 45 seconds to draw a portrait of your neighbor. Go. 45 seconds. Don't waste the time. Let's go. Uh-huh. You don't have to. You lost it some seconds there. We're almost there. Come on, join in. Grab a pen and a paper. Almost there. And stop. Okay. Are you showing it to your neighbor? Oh, I like that. Very cute. Love it. That's very descriptive. Well, okay. That's very, okay. That's interesting. Somebody here just drew their neighbor in their building, so where they live. Interesting. That's funny, right? All right. How did that feel? Great? Okay, not great. Very stressful, fair enough. There wasn't enough time. Anything else? How did you feel? You nailed Okay, good one. Pressured, yes. Why did you feel pressured? Good one. Short time window, okay. Any other reason? If there was a longer time window?
I do not talk too much with my neighbor.
Okay. You did have to draw her, not your neighbor in the
My
building.
neighbor, maybe.
Okay. Great. Okay. Why did I ask you to do that activity? Is because research shows when asked in a room full of adults, only 50% of people or adults feel they are creative. It's because at one point of time when they were growing up, somebody told them that they were not good enough, that they couldn't draw, or they were not creative enough, right? And so we don't think that we're creative, and we tend to link our creative ability to artistic ability, right? And artistic ability is important. It is really important. But what we're trying to do today here is think about the creative ability, which kind of is equal to creative confidence. You might have it, maybe not, but today we'll try to build it. And what really is creative confidence is the ability to show unfinished work. What you just built there was you taking on something that you didn't think you were good at, right? And so design thinking kind of teaches us to be confident in presenting our unfinished work, to take on questions that we don't have answers to, and to have that confidence to be able to tackle the problems that we signed up for but we do not know the solutions for. And to be very honest, being a GDG or GDE is part of that, isn't it? Yeah. All right. So we would be doing a lot of experiential learning today. We would be learning by doing, and I think that's why the room is very empty, because I started handing out those papers and pens, and not everyone wants to do that.
50% not creative people right now.
Okay. And it's the happy hour is starting soon, and I want to be out as well, but okay. But yeah, all of us in this room, we already do this. As GDE, GDSC, GDG, we do a lot of events. We do talk to our community. We do learn by doing. So we are already doing this. We just are going to be doing that for next 15 quick minutes as well. So the next step is to write down and describe your developer community. Go ahead, quick. What do you think your developer community looks like? If you're a GDG organizer, then what does your chapter look like? If you're a GDSC, maybe what your university looks like. And if you're a GDE, then maybe pick your favorite chapter that you've spoken at or something. Am I asking difficult questions? Okay. Okay, that was quick. Very quick. Should have given 45 seconds for that too. All right. Were we able to write something, all of us? All right, some people are still writing. Well, I didn't think you should have done that because, wait, you didn't ask me a lot of questions. Sorry, quickly, can I have my speaker notes up here? I can't see them. Thank you. Yeah, you got more time if you were not able to figure out something. Thanks so much. But what I was gonna say is that it's a false start. I gave you a question, you jumped at it, and you started to write something, like an answer. And most of us, all of us, work like that, right? At work, anywhere else, people ask us a question, we start answering. They give us a problem, we start solving. Do we take time, a lot of time, to think about a longer process to come to that answer? Maybe not. So today, we're gonna try to answer this question, but in a little longer process. And today, we would only be able to solve one part of understanding the community, maybe not being able to build an agenda, finding speakers, and those kind of things we can do in some other setting. But today it's going to be quick. So let's go through a longer process. So we have to work in pairs, and so probably the neighbor that you drew is your partner. If not, find a partner quickly. Partner A, to begin with, is going to be the GDG, GDE, or GDSC. Partner B is going to be the community manager, the developer. All right. Once we work in pairs, partner A is going to interview partner B what an ideal developer community looks for them. Did you get the question? No? So, as a developer, what I'm looking for in a community, right? And so the partner A has to understand that from partner B, right? Remember to ask questions about what do they care about, why, learning something about each other. And if you haven't already, switch roles. The next step is partner B asking the same questions from partner A. So go for it. Last 30 seconds. All right, I hope you were able to talk to each other. Hi. Let's move on. We have only 25 minutes, so let's go over it very quickly. Um, did we hear a good story? Did we learn something about the other person? Yeah, yeah. Do you think you know your partner well right now? What do they think about the community, what they're trying to achieve? Did they tell you a story of why do they want this? They did? A good story? Okay, what about you folks? Did you hear a story? Oh, okay, okay. So I think the first interview like these are usually gathering information, right? What do you want? Why do you want it? You know, where do you belong from, right? Which chapter? All of that good stuff. While it is important, it's not really knowing your partner. And partner here right now means us, like each other. So I would ask you to do another interview the same way you did, but this time with more empathy. What that means is hearing stories and emotions behind why they're saying something that they're saying. So if it's a student who's asking for an internship or a job, and that's what they're looking for from their community, ask them why. Is that university is not able to provide placements? It's a personal story. Or if I'm a cloud developer, right? And I've been doing certifications for a very long time on my own, but I need the support from my community. I need more people. I need experts, probably. So maybe that's a story. So In the interest of time, I might be able to skip this, but what we're trying to understand from each other is a story. Yes. Or are you interested in interviewing each other one more time? Wow, okay. Let's do it. This time focus on emotions and stories and empathy. And empathy means without judgment. Be curious, ask them questions, but do not judge them on them. And also be very respectful. So, next 2 minutes. Quickly. Don't use the word stupid, yeah. Don't forget to switch roles. We're almost there. I almost don't feel like interrupting. All right, did we hear some stories this time? Okay. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear some stories? Okay. Did you feel like you know her better this time? Yeah, that's exactly what we were looking for. What about you? You felt the same? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe next for the next one we can switch partners again. All right. We heard some really good stories, which is amazing. Right. What we just did. All right. All right. It's amazing that you guys still want to talk at 5, but moving on. What we just did was just one step into design thinking process defined by the founder of Stanford D School and IDEO, which is a longer process. So we did the first step of that, and it has been came up by David Cayley. He is the founder of Stanford D School and IDEO. So he describes the process of design thinking into 5 different steps, and one of them is to empathize and to learn from your user, problem, all of that good stuff, but with empathy. So we would be going through a lot more steps today, so we have to be very quick and on time. So to be doing that and not in a boring way, let's jump into the next one. So if you were to define your community now as a partner A, what your community looks like? Is it, my community is students who are looking for an internship or a full-time position? It could be, it's a lot of startup founders. Or it could be a mix of both, or maybe those who are working in tech in a full-time position, but are still looking to up-level their learnings, etc., etc. Right? So to be able to define this, you have already interviewed your partner, and you should be able to write this right now. But for the sake of, again, the time, we're going to talk quickly about what was missing in that statement, this statement. What do you think this girl is looking for in this picture? What does she needs, to be precise? A book? A favorite book? A step. Okay, yeah. Maybe if she could reach higher, she would be able to get it. What else? Toy on a higher shelf. That's a good perspective. Sorry, you were saying? Picture book. Okay. All right. All great answers. But I'd love to encourage you to think of needs as verb as opposed to nouns. So a book or a step is a noun. What if we describe the needs as verb? So maybe instead of a ladder, she needs to reach, and the solution to reach is a ladder or a step, right? And so what's missing in the previous statement is the need in a form of verb. And so that's what we're going to be thinking about. Why? Because when we think about a verb, when we think about why do they need it, then we can come up with many more solutions than one, which is a step. Right? So we have to start thinking about the problem statement from a needs point of view. There is another perspective to it, that there should be an insight. We're not going to be talking about insights, but I'll quickly mention that maybe if you'll talk to her, you'll realize she doesn't need any of these. She needs the attention of an adult in the same room, right? So that's an insight you will get by talking to the person. And so those 2 things, we will be, again, talking to our partners very quickly. I'm so tempted to skip that because of time, but maybe we can keep going. All right. So this time, we are going to understand the needs of your partner. What do they need in terms of verbs? So let's do that. Oh, actually, before I do that, or maybe when you're doing that, I'll quickly talk about this interesting statement by Henry Ford, that if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Right? And while it makes sense, but Design Thinking School put another perspective to it. What if Henry Ford had asked, what do the people need? And they would have said they need to reach faster. And the solution to that could have been a car. Right? So it's about how you ask and how the user responds to you in terms of needs as verbs. So let's do that. One of the solution of that exercise that we would do could come and look like this, that my community is a group of students who are looking for an internship or a full-time position to network and mingle with speakers who can eventually help them find a job. Yeah? All right, so that's something you would find out by talking to your partner. Are you interested in doing that? Do you want to skip over? Yes, no? Skip? All right. Yeah, that makes sense. This is supposed to be a longer workshop, 1 hour long, but we don't have time for that. So quickly skipping over. What we're trying to devise from here is a POV statement, point of view statement, understanding who is your partner, what they're trying to do, what do they need in terms of verbs. And so therefore, we come up with ideas. We brainstorm ideas to give them a solution. And those solutions could be many. we write down 10 different solutions that could fit in that need, right? And so there are rules to brainstorming as well, and I think the simple and the biggest one is focus on quantity. If you think that you have one and I think it's going to be the biggest one and I think it's the best one, don't think of your ideas under judgments. Even thinking that it's the best idea is a judgment. So relieve yourself from judgment when you're thinking about ideas. Come up with as many as you can, and then come up with a solution, right? And coming up with a solution takes two more processes, and we're going to talk about them very quickly. Ideally, from this workshop, you would have wrote down those needs, wrote down those ideas, and then picked one idea on the basis of prototyping. So these are a couple of examples that you would have come up with. Oh, sorry, it has wants and needs, so it's a little broken. So instead of wants and needs, it's needs and solutions. So my community could be students who are looking to advance in their career by learning new technologies, eventually finding a job, all of that good stuff. It could be developers who are learn more about Google Cloud. So we could provide them with more cloud certification events, et cetera, et cetera. So the next step was to picking up the best idea and sharing that with your partner. And then build a prototype. If you had your own laptops, you could actually go on Bevy or a meetup, build out your event, an ideal event, and get the feedback from your developer community member sitting next to you. A part of that is defining the demographics. Like, you know your partner now, you can write information about them. You could obviously pick a date and time that suits your partner. You could give them options about the speakers and the agenda if that looks good to them. You can also think about the impact that it was creating for them, as well as the connection it is creating. The connection here, I'm going to talk a little bit about here. Connection could be between you and your community partner. It could be between them, like more than one community partner. Are they communicating? Are they learning from each other? Or it could be between your speaker and your community partner. So thinking about connection as a form of communication is also very, very important. So once you have a prototype, once you put out a draft event on Bevy or Meetup, that's when you take feedback from your partner and you test. And you want to fail early and fail often. By building this prototype, sharing with your partner, you are avoiding any costs associated with a big event, people not showing up, speakers not showing up, they're not being able to engage, or you not being able to create an impact. So we have to take as much feedback as we can from our community with our partners and build the prototype and share with them. Take as much feedback as we can. And the last step is, of course, testing. Once you feel very confident from your partner's feedback about the prototype that you have built, test it out. See how it goes, and learn from there. Take as much feedback as you can. And yeah. So by this time, you would have ideally created a plan for your partner, and similarly, you can do that for your whole community, and that way, you're succeeding in building a better community. Thanks so much for attending my talk and being a part of this workshop. My name is Sakshi.